I had a whole idea set up for this that has basically just epically failed because they launched the event. I was going to take the weekend, use all the void signals up, and try to get him to drop this. Because using the void signal, you can do a mission with Baro and he can drop an item that you haven't got. From everything I can find, it says an item you haven't got. I don't have this, so in theory I should have a high chance of dropping this. But with the launch of the new event, I have to pick this up. There's no ifs or buts about it. I don't want to do this, but I have to. And spend platinum to get the slot to actually pick it up with. I saw that at the last second there, because it uses a different slot. Okay, so apparently install a catalyst. Yes, okay. Okay, this poses a few problems. I was told gravimags were no longer a thing. You have to gravimag this to be able to use it. Okay, this is actually becoming a big problem. In case you didn't know, I spent over 1,000 platinum on the tenor bomb stuff. I got some to give away everything. This is now biting me really badly. The only solution I have that is a solution is to put it on the necramech, which I'm going to do anyway. So no great loss there, for now. Kind of painful though. So, one thing I'm noticing is the placeholder image has gone. It is actually the Prisma dual. I keep calling it the Decurions. Decurions? Well, however you want to pronounce it. It has more crit. It has a higher fire rate. It has 10% more status. It does more damage. It's a no-brainer. This thing is obviously going to be used. Should have come with a catalyst in it, but okay. Oh, okay. I forgot I had that. It's crit damage, I know, but still, that determines this thing is going to be formatted at least once. Actually does, the Riven, that is, the Riven mod does more than the normal one does. And you can make it even better by putting it on there and having 6.4 times crit multiplier. Oh. But I lose a little bit of damage, so... But it gains so much more crit damage, and it fires so quickly, it's going to annihilate all. I am actually getting really excited, but I can't put that on. I have to take it off because it still needs status on this. Definitely going to need 2 dashes, possibly a D. I've just thrown that in there for now. Guess it's time to start using this thing and see how well it works. And don't get me wrong here, the Prisma dual Decurions are much better than the originals. It's actually massively better than the original ones were. But the 32 magazine, useless. Dual wielding it in the necramech, useless. The dual wielding doesn't seem to work, you only kind of fire the one. It looks very weird, but it's not like I could do much about that. Luckily this event was ongoing, so I actually had a chance to use them and level them up outside of archwing missions, but without that gravimag, it's really hard to do anything with them. Adding something like magazine extension will give it a 51 magazine, which is a lifesaver. Would kind of go for that over the whole modified munitions thing that I had thrown in there before. I'll probably change that out in the future, but this thing will definitely need 2 dashes, maybe a V or another dash on top, depending on how you are running this. But it just depends really upon what mods you have for this. But finally, a Prisma based weapon. Hopes were high for this thing being absolutely amazing, and it was not a massive letdown. At first, visually, I'll admit, I was kind of disappointed because it needs a gravimag and nothing more than that. Just because it needed a gravimag is the only reason I was using this and thinking, when the necramech has it, you're only kind of using one, but one's all you needed. I was using it on the endurance and it worked pretty well, up until a point. Then it kind of lacklustered. Like trying to take out the final part. I say final part of each round, whatever that enemy is particularly called. I cannot remember that offhand, I should probably have wrote that down somewhere. But taking out that enemy, yeah, it runs out of ammo during the phase where you can actually deal damage to it, which is where magazine extension would have worked wonders in there. It may be on the weapon now, but that's because I've just formatted it again and actually put it on there after thinking I should do that, but trying to increase the damage more. There are better weapons to use in that particular event, but it was the best way to level these things up, and level it did. It was kind of a lifesaver this event was going on, otherwise it would have been off to archwing, which would have just kind of, it wouldn't have ruined the weapon. I loved the original dual Decurions, but the fact that there's a Prisma one, the fact that it now has over 2000 damage with 60% crit chance and the 40.8% status, because I still have modified munitions in there because I haven't decided what I'm putting in there. I probably did earlier. I will probably throw Sobat rounds in and increase the damage even more, but that does require that last dash polarity I have yet to actually put on these, because I can only really level these during the event, and honestly, not the best weapon for the event. Fine for everything else, but for the event you kind of want something with a magazine that will work wonders for that final phase of each individual enemy, with the damage phase of each enemy. These do not work there. Anything else will work wonders, but these, anywhere else with a gravimag thrown into them, will just annihilate all. They do a nice amount of damage. They actually look much better than the originals as well, even though, yes, I'm aware it's just a skin. Prisma weapons in general look better than the standard ones, making it kind of worth it. Whether or not they're actually tradable now, I don't know. But I mean, look at them. The effect on these things looks amazing. It has over 2000 damage and an empty mod slot. Yeah, these things, they are good for most missions. It's the 51 magazine. It's now 51 for some reason. It was 52 before. I think it was 52. The 51 magazine that lets these things down. The only downside I came across to using these was the fact that they have a tiny magazine. Every other aspect of them worked wonders. So increasing that magazine capacity and these things will be amazing. There are arc guns better, but I'm sorry, you cannot beat a dual wielding gun. Twin Vipers were the best things around for a long time. Wish these things had have worked exactly the same. Kind of do. A little bit. If you close your eyes and believe it, you could kind of believe it. They're not. There are better arc guns, but these still more fun to use than most, because they are just, they remind me so much of the Twin Vipers. I love using these. It's just a shame I cannot put them here. One day, maybe. Not today. So I think with that disappointment, we'll leave this off here for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.